back to the Pizza After Midnight podcast. This is Rob, one of your hosts. Joining me as always, my co-host and best pals, whoever's doing the emojis, it's throwing me off. Isaac and Patrick, what's going on, guys?
Yo,
Hola.
How
I
about
was
seriously?
celebrating. I was celebrating. We're
It's still
back.
going. It's still going. Is that you still?
Me, it's me. Yeah,
It's freaking me out.
it's
Is
you
that
can do
new?
reactions now on this. So
So instead of talking to each other, we should just do a whole episode where we react to each other and then upload it. So everybody on Spotify is just listening to 1 hour of like nothing.
Yeah.
But we know. We know.
we know it. You have to watch the video version. all
Yeah,
there is.
exactly. And we're live. We're live on like YouTube, Twitch, everything right now
Yeah.
for our 7,000 followers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, how's your week, Patrick? Let's go with you first this time.
It's pretty good. Last time we met, I've been to Tulum, Mexico.
Oh
I've
yeah.
been busy. Been all over the place. Been to Philly. Been to Thunder Bay, Canada. Been to Maryland. I don't know. So it's been a good week. It's been a good week. I've been doing a bunch of house stuff. I got couple new toys installed this week and feeling pretty good about it.
How many times were you shot at this time in Maryland?
Actually, only once. Um,
Wow.
yeah, no, and it wasn't really Maryland; it was Philly. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Isaac, we'll touch back on that in a second. Um, Isaac, what about you? On call?
Yeah. Today was actually an awesome day because I was on call for 2 weeks straight until yesterday. Got to not be on call today and just did a whole bunch of regular family house stuff. It's really hot and sunny out. It was a good day. Had fun.
So what happens if you're on call and you're in the middle of the podcast? You'd have to be like, sorry, I'm doing the podcast, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the message I sent, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we'll get you back."
Yeah, my bad. We won't. Well, this is not important like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
uh,
yeah.
listen,
My
listen,
what?
listen, Isaac. We need to talk about your career choice. I have an
It's
ongoing
the
war with
worst.
Bezos right now.
yeah,
I'm really pissed off about my cover for my grill pit. I have a pit grill that I ordered, and I
yeah.
don't know where my cover is. Everything's gone.
It's not even there yet.
They sent me an
Listen,
umbrella, Isaac.
Amazon has really been letting me down lately. I used to go to Amazon all the time for my physical game releases, and they used to have them to me day and date, right? And
Hmm.
now I get every game release. I'm going to Best Buy now because Amazon, I get like, oh, we're a day delayed. Oh, it's going to be 2 days delayed. I don't like it. They're going downhill.
Yeah,
Do they try to sell you a warranty every time you go to Best Buy too and buy a game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Protection program.
And when I first, Catherine first came to this country and she bought me a game for my birthday or something like that, like Spider Man, and she didn't know, so she thought she was doing a great thing. She bought the warranty every time she bought a game at Best Buy.
Aw.
I'm like, this isn't Ecuador, my dear. They're not counterfeit. We don't have to worry about that. Um, yeah, my week's been okay. Tuesday I was sitting here talking to Diggler on um, one of our friends from Alabama on the PC, and suddenly the back of my chair gave out, and I've never been able to do a somersault in my life, but god damn it, I flipped backwards and popped up like a gymnast. No idea what was happening. And I was so confused. I'm like throwing my hands up in the air. I think I actually did like the gymnasts, after they pop up. And
did you
I,
bow?
I yeah, yeah. And I tried to do it again, but I no. So this was the Andecy, and I read online that they have a 3 to 6 year warranty. I ordered it 5 years ago. Um,
Oh.
so I've been talking to
Uh,
them, trying to get this replaced, and they're like, "Oh, well, that just started being a thing with the warranty." And I'm like, "Okay, well," and they're like, "But and your chair's out of stock, all the parts for it and everything." So I'm like, "Okay, what do I do?" They're like, "Well, it should be coming back into stock next month for a new chair. The chair usually runs like $500. We'll give you a discount and we'll charge you $100 for it." And I'm like,
Oh.
"Okay,
okay.
cool." because I love that chair, man. It's got like a high back, you know, the armrests all the way up, and it's hard for me to find a chair that, you know, with my rotund stature, that I fit well. Um, but then they ghosted me. I haven't heard back from them in a couple days because I'm trying to confirm. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go to Target and buy a temporary chair to get me through until, you know, I get this replaced. And then I bought the stool, and the
Yeah.
minute in the stool, the stool has a weight limit of like 125 pounds. So the minute I got onto that, I could feel like the bottom of the chair buckling for its life, you know? And I was afraid it was going to be like one of those things you ever see the comedy movies where the guy sits in the stool and the thing shoots right up and he's, you know, suddenly gay. So I was afraid of that all day. So yeah, no, it was really uncomfortable. I'm like, I can't do this. So I just went out, and this was on sale. This chair for like $100. It's usually 400 or 500. It's okay. It's not my gaming chair, but it's better than what I had.
Is this the Shaquille O'Neal chair?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's more like an office chair, right? Not
Oh,
like
okay.
what I'm used to. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, that was the highlight. I am now a gymnast, and I'm trying out for the Olympics.
Ooh.
Yep, yep. They just laughed at me. So. Oh yeah. Anyway, any any good polls for you, Isaac? Anything before we get started?
I haven't gotten product in so long.
I have. That sounds really sketchy. I have product for you hanging on my door. I just have to get it to you. But every
Yeah.
time I've asked to see you, you're like, nah.
Can we
Been rough
can we
life.
do a favor for me? Let's not call that product. Let's call it Pokemon cards. 'Cause we're gonna get flagged.
It
in your
sounds
house.
way cooler saying product. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's because there's different kinds of products.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like I went to Target today to get the chair plus a couple of I had to get sunscreen lotion for Catherine and a couple other things. And the card aisle, literally, I could just see tumbleweeds rolling down the aisle. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing. The only thing I
Yeah.
had, bro, they had like 4 rows of that My Little Pony booster packs because that's all they have to put out.
Do they have
Oh,
any
man.
left now?
It's
But a few.
it's really
It's
discouraging.
bad.
We talk about
And
this all the time, but it's so discouraging.
And I've never seen, since it's come out, I've never seen. Patrick, do you know about this? The Pokemon section now?
No. What would you talking
Isaac,
about?
can you explain that so I can catch myself before I get into this story?
So Target did a collaboration with the Pokemon Company, and they just made all this merch. Like there's like jackets and posters and like stuff like that. But they've made a whole aisle, and it's filled with this stuff. But when it drops, like on drop day, like there's lines just to get this. It's not cards even. It's just like stuff, and
Yeah.
the stuff is gone in like 2 seconds.
What?
And anytime I've passed the Pokemon dedicated aisle, it's been like Space Jam T-shirts and shit,
Yeah, yeah. It's just empty.
or
Insane.
like Space Jam T-shirts and a whole shelf of Pokemon Pop Tarts.
Yeah, I saw the Hershey bars the other day.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I haven't seen those yet.
yeah. You gotta catch them all. There's 12 different versions.
Catch them all.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll have. I'll eat them though. That's like
Catch them all,
Yeah.
get diabetes, catch all
Yeah.
types of diabetes in the process.
you open the last card up or the last pack up. It's Wilford Brimley saying, "Congrats, you got diabetes."
Is that the
Yeah.
old guy?
Yeah.
Diabetes?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the old guy that was on TV that used to talk about
He dead?
diabetes.
Is he dead?
Probably.
Okay, I didn't know.
He was like
Um,
80 something in the 90s.
the Family Guy skit of that guy is so funny.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I have to look at that.
You do look it up.
Maybe
It's
I've
so
seen
good.
it.
It's so good.
Yeah. Good times, good times. Well, anyway, gentlemen, we've had a weird few weeks. We've, been on, off. We haven't really reined us in at all. Um, we haven't really had any themes in a while either, so I thought I would give you guys another little story today. Um, Not as excited about this one as I was a couple of them, because I actually just learned about this one about a week or so ago. I had never heard of it, um, but it's interesting nonetheless. It's kind of known as the American Dyatlov Pass, so we're kind of in that territory again. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard that?
No.
Well, you of course know Dyatlov Pass. Any new listeners? A bunch of hikers, in Russia disappeared for a long time without any explanation in the middle of their hike. Um, so, gentlemen, I'm going to take you back to 1978 this time, and we are going to tell a story about the Yuba County Five.
Ooh.
Did you say 5?
So, five, yes,
Okay.
yes. So, February 24th, 1978, five men pile into a car after attending a college basketball game in North Carolina. They're laughing, talking about the next day because they're going to play basketball. They're excited, they've got plans. But within a few hours, something happens. Instead of driving home, they drive deep into the mountains, into the snow. Uh, Over the next few months, what's discovered by the investigators will confuse, haunt families, and leave behind one of the strangest disappearances cases in American history. This is the mystery of the Yuba County Five. Put in some sort of spooky music there, okay?
Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
Okay. So, the five men, and I'm going to butcher these names, I'm sorry, I'm not good at this. The five men were, and while we're doing this, I came this time with like pictures already ready to go.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, you're struggling to say Bill Sterling?
Yep. So this is Jack Madruga, Bill Sterling, Ted Wyher, Gary Matthias, and Jack Hewitt.
What? Wait, that's the guy from freaking Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah,
And that's
Uh-huh.
actually
makes sense.
Severance.
oh my god, Severance. I
Yeah.
didn't
that's-
realize that until now. Um, yeah, this is these guys. So, stop. These guys were very close friends. 20s, 30s. They were all over the place. I'm not going to go over their ages and stuff, but they were in their 20s and 30s. Okay. Uh, Most of them had mild intellectual disabilities. Nothing crazy like super downs or anything like that, but learning disabilities, or they had conditions. Um, they were very independent. They had routines. They were always together, type of thing. People around them just started calling them the boys, right? Um, so, just a little background information, whether it's pertinent to this story. Who
Is
knows?
it the one guy have Adam Scott disease?
Adam Scott disease. Yep. When he goes to work, it's like he's a different person. So,
Splits.
on February 25th, the Gators were due to play their first game in a week-long tournament sponsored by the Special Olympics, for which the winners would get a free week in Los Angeles. The five men had prepared the night before, some even laying out their uniforms and asking their parents to wake them up on time. These guys played basketball. They decided to drive to Chico that same night to cheer on the UC Davis basketball team in an away game against Chico State. Madruga, the only member of the group besides Matthias with a driver's license, drove the group 50 miles north to the Chico State campus in his turquoise and white Mercury Montego coupe. The men wore only light coats against the cool temperatures in the summer Sacramento. What? This is
That's
in
a-
California. I
Yeah.
don't know why they said North Carolina before.
That's a cool car, by the way. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
looking at
yeah.
a picture of it.
I've got pictures of it too coming up. I just don't want
Why
to.
can't
I don't want to
take
pull
it?
it up with the. I said, so before I said Northern Carolina, I actually have typed here Northern California. Um,
Uh,
so I apologize
We're
about
all
that.
geography
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
deficient sometimes.
After Davis' team won the game, the group returned to Madruga's car and drove a short distance from Chico State to Bears Market in downtown Chico, where they bought snacks, sodas, and cartons of milk. That reminds me of a time that I went to New York City with a couple friends and one of these girls, and we did so many shots of Jameson that night actually, and then she's like, "Oh, I want some milk," and I'm like, "Probably not a great idea." And I was hanging out with this other girl, and then she chugged this whole bottle of like strawberry milk, and then I was staying in a hotel room with her. So when I got done hanging out with Jessica, I went back to the hotel room, and there was just splotches of pink everywhere, and I'm like, "Yeah." So
Yeah.
anyway,
Uh,
it was shortly before the store's 10 p.m. closing time. The clerk remembered the men because she was annoyed at them that such a large group entered and delayed her process of closing the store for the night.
Mhm.
Uh,
I've been there for that. That's
yeah,
annoying.
yeah, it is very annoying. Then they got in the car, and instead of heading south toward home, they drove east into the mountains. And that was the last time any of them were seen alive. The end.
I mean, I guess they took a wrong turn.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Uh,
What?
Any questions so far, gentlemen?
Yeah, like what? So they played their own basketball, but they were there cheering on that team.
They had a basketball game the next day. They wanted to
Okay.
go. They loved basketball. They wanted to go see their local college play the night before.
Okay, I missed that part. It was their local college, so they were out cheering and
Yep.
But it
doing.
was an away game, so they had to drive up to Chico State.
Yes.
In
Yep.
their 1969 Mercury Montego.
You know, and I actually a little later I'm going to show you a map of the area, and so you can see where everything is in correlation to each other. I don't want to show it right now because it gives away some stuff.
Did did they drive the wrong way on purpose or on accident?
Well, we'll get into that.
Well, so were their basketball team? Was it part of like the Special Olympics?
No, theirs that they were playing on.
Yeah, that
They
they were.
were they were special. Yeah.
Yeah, but how did they get a 1969 Mercury Montego?
I mean, they're very independent, man.
That's a
They're,
nice
said-
and
car.
I'll go into one of their professions of who has the car in a moment.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. There's more backstory coming up. Gucci Aldine, that is before you were born, sir. But we appreciate you stopping in, and I hope you're winning in Hell Let Loose because I just downloaded it again. Police in Butte and Yuba counties began searching the route the men took to Chico. They found no sign of them. A few days later, a Plumas National Forest ranger told investigators that he had seen the Mercury parked in the forest along Oroville Quincy Road on February 25th. At the time, he did not consider it significant since many residents often drive up that road into the Sierra Nevada mountain range on winter weekends to go cross country skiing uh, on the extensive trail system. But after reading the missing persons bulletin, he later recognized the car and led deputies to it on February 28th. So, they find the car abandoned in the middle of nowhere in the Pumas National Forest. And here's what makes it strange. Evidence inside the car suggested that the men were in it between the time they were last seen and when it was abandoned. Empty wrappers and containers from the food and drinks they purchased from the store in Chico were present, along with programs from the basketball game they attended and neatly folded road map of California. The car's location, 70 miles from Chico, was far from any direct route to Yuba City or Marysville. None of the men's families could speculate as to why they would drive up a long and winding dirt road on a winter night deep into a high elevation remote forest without extra clothing. Madruga's parents said he did not like the cold weather and had never even been up into the mountains. Sterling's father had once taken his son to the area near where the car was found for a fishing weekend, but the younger man had not enjoyed it and remained at home when his father took later trips to there. Uh, Police were puzzled by the car's abandonment, and actually, within my script here, I do have breaks where we can talk, and you guys can ask questions about where we are so far. We're almost to one of those. The road was at 4,400 feet in elevation, about the location of the snow line that time of year, a short distance from where the road was closed for the winter. The car had become stuck in snowdrifts, and there was evidence that the men tried to spin the wheels to get out of it. Police noted that the snow was not very deep and that 5 healthy young men should have easily been able to push the car out. The car keys were not present, suggesting at first that the car had been abandoned because it might not have been operating properly, with the intention of returning later to help. When police hot-wired the car, the engine started immediately, and the fuel gauge indicated that the tank was 1/4 full of gasoline. Police towed the car back to the station for a more thorough examination. The Mercury's undercarriage had no dents, gouges, or even mud scrapes, not even on its low-hanging muffler. Despite having been driven the long distance up a mountain road with many bumps, ruts, and potholes, either the driver had been extremely careful or it was someone familiar with the road. A familiarity Madruga was not known to have, the owner of the car. His family said that Madruga would not have let someone else drive the car. The car was unlocked and had a window rolled down when it was found. Madruga's family indicated it was unlike him to leave the car so unsecured. It was just like they stepped out and never came back. Search teams began to sweep the area, and what they find next only deepens the mystery. Da-da-da-da, more scary music. What you guys got for me so far?
I would like a map.
So
I will show you the map after I go over this next part.
Yeah.
You'll be able
this
to
is
see it.
Northern California, near like just north of San Francisco,
Yeah.
west of Reno.
Yep.
It's pretty desolate, but Chico's kind of a happening place.
Well, I can show you the map right now. Eventually they do find something. Nothing super positive. But let me see if.
Eventually, they walked home, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Share.
these roads look crazy up there. Like these, this is definitely.
So this is, if you can see this a little bit, this is where the basketball game was on the left.
Mhm.
This is where the car was found here on the right, and this is their home all the way down here.
Oh, so why did they go all the way? Okay, so they drove
Yeah.
north to the game.
And then drove the east for some inexplicable reason instead of south home. So
Okay.
Really weird.
Oh, I almost stopped the podcast instead of just the sharing.
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to find where I was left off. Okay. Searchers began finding clues, footprints, evidence that at least some of the men walked away from the car, and they didn't find these things downhill towards safety. They found the footprints going deeper into the wilderness. This was also not something where, you guys are in the middle of a dense forest, and you don't know which way is which, right? This is something that, hey, down there's the town. We should go down this hill, or up here's getting into the dense forest. So they consciously made that decision. Um,
Hmm.
over the rough terrain through snow and freezing temperatures, and at some point they split up. Efforts to search the vicinity were hampered by a severe snowstorm that day. 2 days later, after searchers and snowcats nearly became lost themselves, further search efforts were called off due to the continuing bad weather. Other than the car, no trace of the men was found at that time. So we are going to fast forward a couple months, I believe. No, we are not. So, in response to the local media coverage of the case, police received several reports of some or all of the men being sighted after they had left Chico. So these are just going to be a couple sightings, and then we're gonna go into the discovery. Okay. Um, Most reports were easily dismissed, but two sightings stood out. Joseph Scones of Sacramento told police he inadvertently wound up spending the night of February 24th to the 25th near where the Montego was found. He had driven up there where he had a cabin to check the snowpack before a weekend ski trip with his family. At 5:30 p.m., about 150 feet up the road, Scones too had gotten stuck in the snow. While trying to free his car, he realized he was beginning to experience the early symptoms of a heart attack and went back in, keeping the engine running to provide heat. Went back into his car. Uh, 6 hours later, lying in the car and experiencing severe pain, Scones saw headlights behind him. He saw a car parked behind him, headlights on, with a group of people around it, one of whom seemed to be a woman holding a baby. He
What?
called he called to the party for help, but they stopped talking and switched their headlights off. Later, he saw more headlights behind him, this time flashlights that also went out when he called to them. After that, Scones said at first he recalled a pickup truck briefly parking 20 feet behind him and then continuing down the road. Later, he clarified to police that he could not be sure of that, since at the time he was almost delirious from pain. After Scone's car ran out of fuel in the early mornings, his pain subsided enough for him to walk 8 miles down the road to a lodge where the manager drove him home, passing the abandoned Montego at the place from where he had recalled hearing the voices. Doctors later confirmed that he had indeed experienced a mild heart attack. Man, that would suck, right? Being in the middle of this forest with
All
all
night.
this. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
It's not adding up.
one of the boys' mothers said ignoring someone's pleas for help was not like her son at all. If indeed he had been present, he would have helped. She recalled how he and Sterling had helped someone they knew get to the hospital after overdosing on Valium. The other notable report was from a woman who worked at a store in a small town of Brownsville, 30 miles from where the car had been abandoned, which the men would have reached had they continued down the road. On March 3rd, the woman who saw flyers with the men's pictures and information about a $1,215 reward, uh, $6,000 in today's money, um, the families offered, told deputies the four of them stopped at the store in a red pickup truck the day after the disappearance. The store owner corroborated her account.
Ooh,
Uh, so
wait
the
a second.
pickup trucks,
The pickup truck, dude.
yeah,
What?
it's weird to me where that came from suddenly, and that also matches up with what this other guy having the heart attack said, right? The
Right.
pickup truck.
Mm.
Um, the woman said she immediately realized the men were not from the area because of their big eyes and facial expressions, whatever that means. Uh, Two of the men, whom she identified as Hewitt and Sterling, were on in a telephone booth outside, while the other two went inside. The police said that she was a credible witness and they took her account very seriously. Additional details came from the store owner, who told investigators the men whom he believed to be Weir and Hewitt came in and bought burritos, chocolate milk, and soft drinks. Weir's brother told the Los Angeles Times that while driving to Brownsville in a different car in apparent ignorance of the basketball game seemed completely out of character for them. The owner's description of the two men's behavior seemed consistent with them, as Weir would eat anything he could get his hands on, and was often accompanied by Hewitt more than any of the other four. Hewitt's brother said Jack hated using telephones to the point that he would answer calls for Jack whenever he received any from the other men in the group. And those were the last two sightings of them that people ever had.
Okay.
Um,
So let's do a quick recap here. You got these guys went to a basketball game. Their last seen leaving. There's sightings up on the mountaintop by some dude that just happens to be having a heart attack and can't leave, who cries out for help, and all of a sudden the pickup truck and a woman with a baby, they turn off their lights,
mhm.
and that's the last he sees until this lady at a store sees a couple of them in a pickup truck
The next day on the other side of the mountain.
the next day. Okay.
But with what comes next, that doesn't make sense.
Okay. Okay.
So, and the months pass. Searchers finally find something. Unfortunately, it's not the greatest find. With the evidence not pointing to any clear conclusion about what happened the night that the five men disappeared, police and the families were not ruling out the possibility that they had met with foul play. The eventual discovery of the four of the five men's bodies seemed to suggest otherwise, however. But the discovery of the bodies raised way more questions than even anything else so far. This is nuts. On June 4th, when most of the higher elevation snow melted, a group of motorcyclists went to a trailer maintained by the USFS at a campsite off the road about 19.4 miles from where the Mercury had been found. The front window of the trailer was broken. When they opened the door, they were overcome by the stench of a decomposing body inside. It was later identified as Weir's. So, about 20 miles another direction, they found his body inside of a trailer. Okay. And actually, this is the trailer. Share. So that was the inside of the trailer. Not too bad.
Is that a Winnebago?
Yeah. And then this was the outside. This
Oh.
was like a livable place, right? This wasn't like a trailer that was like not like he was hunkering down in a shed, right?
Okay.
So Weir's body was wrapped in 8 sheets, including the head, was found on a bed inside the trailer. An autopsy showed that he died of a combination of starvation and hypothermia. Weir had lost slightly half his 200 pounds of body weight. The growth of his beard suggested that he lived slightly more than 3 months from when he last shaved. His feet were badly frostbitten, almost gangrenous. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
On the table next to the bed were some of Weir's personal effects, including his wallet, a nickel ring with Ted engraved on it, and a gold necklace he also wore. Also on the table was a gold watch, missing its crystal, which Weir's family said was not his, and a partially melted candle. He was wearing a velour shirt and lightweight pants, but his shoes could not be found. Most puzzling for the investigators was not the find of his body, but how he had come to this fate. The trailer's fireplace had not been used once, despite an ample supply of matches and novels, like paperback novels to use for kindling. There was heavy forestry clothing hanging that was untouched, which could have kept them warm. They found 36 sea ration cans from a storage shed outside that had been opened and their contents consumed, but a locker in the same shed that held an even greater assortment of dehydrated foods, enough to keep all 5 men fed for a year, if necessary, was not even touched. Similarly, what's up?
They didn't have any milk, so he couldn't rehydrate it.
Yeah, exactly. Similarly, another shed nearby held a butane tank with a valve that, if it had been opened, would have fed the trailer's heating system. Yet he still died from hypothermia and starvation. Weir's family said that he lacked common sense as a result of his cognitive disability. For example, he often asked why it was necessary to stop at a stop sign, and one night they had to drag him out of his bed while the ceiling of his bedroom was on fire because he was afraid he would be late for work the next day. However, that was 1 out of 5, right? Um, it also appeared that Weir had not been alone in the trailer, and that Matthias and had also been there. Matthias's tennis sneakers were in the trailer, and the C rations had been opened with a P38 can opener, which only Matthias or Madruga were familiar from their military service. Matthias, his feet perhaps also swollen from frostbite, could have decided to put Weir's shoes on instead if he had ventured outside. The sheets covering Weir's body also suggested that one of the others had been there with him, as his gangrenous feet would have caused too much pain for him to pull them over his body himself. Uh, he had survived for weeks, maybe even months. Why didn't he eat the food?
Why didn't he leave the house that was on fire? He just sat.
Why
in bed.
didn't he turn on the heater? You know, but this is multiple people. It's not just him, right? So why didn't they touch any of that stuff? It doesn't. If they had enough, I feel like if they had enough common sense for their families to allow them to go on these trips by themselves, and they should know that. And 2 of the guys were in the military, right? Like,
Yeah.
they need to know that
I mean, it was
if
the
something
70s.
happens,
It
right?
was the 70s. People, it wasn't like when we grew up with homes and different things, and
I still feel like they should have had some sort of education in the military how to survive.
well,
Um,
yeah, it looks like that. Some of the C rations have been opened with a P38 can opener,
mhm.
which only Mathis or Madruga were familiar with from their military service.
Yep.
But
Uh,
why wouldn't they have opened the other guy, like fed the other guy? Like, what?
yep. So, searchers returned to Plumas following the road between the trailer and where the Mercury was abandoned the following day. The following day, remains later identified those of Madruga and Sterling were discovered on opposite sides of the road, 11 miles from where the car had been. Madruga's body had been partially consumed by scavenging animals, only the bones remained of Sterling scattered over a small area. Autopsy showed that they both died of hypothermia. Deputies speculated that one of them may have given in to the need to sleep that comes with the last stages of hypothermia, while the other stayed by his side and died the same way. 2 days later, as part of one of the other search parties, Hewitt's father had found his son's backbone under a manzanita bush 2 miles northeast of the trailer. His shoes and jeans found nearby helped identify the body. The next day, a skull was discovered by a deputy sheriff 300 feet away from the bush, confirmed by dental records later to be Hewitt's. His death also attributed to hypothermia. But curiously, one man was never found. Around a quarter-mile northwest of the trailer, searchers found 3 Forest Service blankets and a rusted flashlight next to the road. It could not be determined how long those items had been there, since Matthias had presumably not taken his medication. His photograph was distributed to mental institutions all over California. However, no trace of Matthias had ever been found. Matthias was the one with military experience and schizophrenia. Gary Matthias, and that's where things took a darker turn. Oh yeah, here we go. Gary Mathias was different from the others. He served in the military. He had survival skills, but he also struggled with schizophrenia. He had been stable, taking medication, and doing well.
Mm.
Uh,
Until he doesn't have access to that medication.
right. And that's one of the theories is that like Gary became paranoid, believes something's wrong, convinces the others to follow him,
Mm.
and that's why they abandoned the car. Blah blah blah. But it doesn't really explain everything. Um,
Yeah.
it's it there's following that there was a couple more sightings, nothing crazy, nothing substantial, um, and
All right.
nothing really makes sense about it to me, and
So,
that's the last we've had of the entire story.
so I gotta say, like, let's talk theories.
Hmm.
So immediately, my theory is that they basically hooked up with some people at the basketball game that knew they were mentally challenged and were taking advantage of it. The people in the pickup truck, right?
Hmm.
Lured them out there, messed with them, and tried to scare them until they actually did scare them.
Hmm.
But I don't understand how they took a couple of them to a store where they were spotted.
Right, and that store was that was multiple people said they were there. It's not like it was one person trying to
Yeah.
uh, get street cred or whatever.
Did did they buy the stuff at the store?
Yep.
So basically, they were getting robbed.
Uh,
So they took them to
but
the store. They bought a bunch of stuff for these people. Then they went back up in there.
but why? Why go back up into the mountains, right? And like, why if you're getting robbed, why why milk and burritos? It's that the milk alone tells me that it was a personal purchase for them because that's like the second or third time that they've stopped somewhere to buy milk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I do like the theory of the schizophrenia though, because that if these guys are looking to somebody that's been in the military as their guidance, right?
right.
This is the guy that knows everything. He
Hmm.
sees some weird stuff, hears some weird stuff, hears somebody crying for help, might have sparked his schizophrenia after they got
Hmm.
stuck.
The weird part for me is I don't know where the pickup truck comes into play, right? Like I don't understand.
Yeah,
I could understand your theory, and I'm not. I'm leaning more towards it was a combination of foul play and mental
yeah.
breakdowns. Uh, so but I'm kind of just playing devil's advocate for conversation purposes. I don't
What do you
think
think,
it's as
guys?
mysterious as there's probably a reasonable explanation, but I don't know. Nothing about it's really reasonable, huh?
No.
Like like to light a fireplace, guys. There's matches everywhere, you know. And the fact that I would lean more towards the schizophrenia being a part of it if there wasn't one other person with them that had such extensive military experience, right?
Yeah.
And was well enough to get those survival skills.
Yeah, because it wasn't just Matthias, right? It was
Yep.
what was the other guy? Ma-
Two of them had it. Madruga, I think.
Madugara. Yeah,
Yeah,
Madugara.
yeah. So,
Well,
what do you think,
uh,
Isaac? What
yeah.
happened?
I don't understand the. We're saying it's foul play. What for 3 months? Like
Yeah, right. And
they
that's
were
another thing. It's like
held somewhere for 3 months? Like why?
and not fed. I mean, I
Yeah,
get like captors are not going to feed you a lot, but they're not going to let you
I'm, I'm
starve.
not. I'm not saying they were kidnapped.
But also, at the same time, if it was a woman and a baby and another guy, these are five men, right? Like, you
yeah,
tell me you can't overpower a woman, a baby, a guy.
yeah,
But you're thinking as a logical person. These people had developmental disabilities. So
Right.
if you think back to like when we were kids, like a lot of the people in the like the ARC and stuff, they're some of the nicest people in the world that do anything and for you. And all of a sudden this lady with a baby needs their help, and they're out trying to help her, but they're actually being led to, you know, it's the '70s, dude. Like bad stuff happened in the '70s. That's when the Bundys and all that came about, and
There was another theory that I can't find that also, uh, after it was determined that 4 of the 5 men had died in the Sierras, investigators still had no explanation to why the men were there. However, they learned that Matthias had friends in a small town of Forbestown. Police believed that it was possible that in an attempt to visit their friends on the way back home, the men might have taken a wrong turn near Oroville that put them on the mountain road. For whatever reason, the men had left the Mercury instead of going back the way they came. They passed the lodge, and Scones later returned to. Um, they chose to continue along the road in the direction they were originally headed.
this next
The
part, this next part gets me though. So it says the day before the men went missing, the USFS Snowcat went along the road to clear snow off the trailer roof so it would not collapse. So, like, there were vehicles and stuff coming up that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so they're thinking maybe they followed the tracks of the snowcat, and that's what got them stuck.
Could be. Could be. The I don't know. It's like I am not survival oriented at all. I have no self preservation, but I feel like if he was alive for months,
Yeah.
that's the part that's just getting to me. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, but paranoid schizophrenia, dude. Like,
Yeah,
and
but it
then
wasn't him. He wasn't even. He was the one that was never found. Who knows where he went?
that's a good point.
Yeah, and the other ones were found, either in the trailer or kind of close by. 11 miles isn't really close by on foot, but
So let's think about the sightings of the pickup truck and stuff. Maybe that's just a fluke. You can't focus on that, right? Even though
Mhm.
they saw a pickup truck headlights and a bunch of people around it. Mm.
I don't know. It's a weird case. It's a weird. I enjoyed the case. I don't. It's not one that I'm gonna let, sit in my mind like the Nutty Buddy Cave and the Dyatlov Pass. However, it's weird. It's weird, but there's probably an explanation that if it ever came to light, we'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
So, like, a lot of people actually feel like there was noises and stuff that made them think there were aliens or something. That's why they took off from the car.
Yeah,
You know,
and there's examples throughout history of like group hysteria and things like that. So
yeah,
it could be. Isaac's very puzzled right now. Isaac, what do you
I know.
got?
No, I just don't know because we're missing so much information that we need.
All right.
Yeah.
Isaac, though, all right, I need you to suspend your need for investigative everything. Just give me the logical thing that you think happened.
I, I don't know. There's too many things. Like I don't know the people. I don't know the guys well enough. I think is
Okay.
Yeah.
So the bunch of
I
guys.
think if I was able to pull up more of their backstory, it might give us a little more clues. But, oh Jesus, the guy that was never found. Never mind, he killed them all. I just saw his picture.
Yeah, he's a creepy.
Is that
man.
Dahmer?
Wouldn't that be a freaking bitch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse my
Yeah.
language.
Anyway, I hope you gentlemen enjoyed the story. It was nice to kind of dig into something and do some research for an episode after a while. So, thanks for listening. And who's next? I think it's Patrick.
Does
I
it
think
mean
so.
Yeah, I think it's Patrick. Patrick, I look forward to what you come up with in a couple weeks, brother.
Okay, I got an idea.
Okay, cool. And I think we're going to go play some Fortnite. We're about that hour mark. Anybody else have anything?
No.
All right, gentlemen. I'll see you in a few minutes. As always, be kind to yourselves, each other, and your insides, because Pizza After Midnight is definitely a young man's game.
Peace.
Auf Wiedersehen.